Alright guys, so just like I promised in yesterday's video, today I'm going to be telling you guys where George the Pig is. He is actually still alive. He's not infected. He's actually fine, from what I know. And I actually know quite a bit because I've been studying this thing for the past 2 weeks, and I think I've got it all figured out. So I'm going to tell you guys all about George the Pig in this video. Also want to say real quick, thank you all for all the support lately on the channel. It's been insane. So if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, drop a sub on the video. It is free, and I'm going to have a lot more videos just like this coming up in the next few days. We're going to be doing huge Chapter 10 leaks, Chapter 10 news, all that stuff. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. Anyway, George the Pig, where is he? What's going on with George the Pig? What's going on with his family? Let's hop into this. So we need to start off with the beginning. The first two characters that really kicked off the story of Piggy, and that's Mr. P and Mrs. P. And while we don't really know too much about Mr. P and Miss P, they are really important to everything. Now, while I'm talking here, I'm going to put on some notes up on the screen. These are from the Piggy game. These are the hidden secrets, the notes you can find around the different chapters, around the different maps, because these basically tell us the entire story. So to kick things off, Mr. P and Miss P are somehow related. We don't know how they're related. They are just related. They could be maybe a daughter-dad situation. Maybe they're brother and sister. Maybe they're married. I don't know. But we do know they are related, and Miss P is sick. She's sick with something. We don't really know what she's sick with, but it's not looking good. So Mr. P, with his infinite knowledge and power and assuming wealth, he actually starts funding the hospital that we see in Chapter 6. He starts funding this hospital, and the hospital starts working on a cure for Miss P. Also, I promise this ties into George the Pig. We just have to get through this first, okay? So let's keep moving on. So just like, you know, you might imagine vaccines and cures and potions, they take a long time and they take a lot of work. It's not something that you can just really do and pop out and voila, it works, right? No, it takes a lot of time and effort. And so they made this potion for Miss P to cure Miss P of her sickness, but first they needed to test it. Mr. P needed to test it and make sure that it was safe. And that's where we get to our first test subject, Subject Zero. Now, we don't really know too much about this guy. It may even be a character that we've met in the story. We just don't really know who it is yet. But the Subject Zero, the potion worked, except it made them more aggressive. And as you can see from this note here, slowly it started to turn them into a monster. So the first potion, it did not work. So Mr. P kept working on the potion, and he needed more test subjects. And this is where George and his family come into play, because George and his family volunteered to be test subjects for this potion. Now, don't ask me why they volunteered to be test subjects for this potion. Maybe Mr. P was going to pay them a lot of money, or maybe it was like fame. I don't know, but they volunteered to be test subjects for the Miss P potion. Now, up until this point, we assume that the entire family got infected, but that's not true. So Mr. P did give the potion to the majority of George the Pig's family, and the majority of the family did get infected. However, not all of the family got infected. So of course, we ran into a few members of George's family over the course of the game, over the few chapters. We actually just ran into Grandma. That is part of George's family. That's the grandma. Grandma is actually in the city, and she runs the poutine shop that you go in to get the fire extinguisher so you can actually escape the city and complete Chapter 9. Now, we know that is the grandma of George because in her shop, there's actually a note that actually involves George the Pig. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read the note. It says, "Poor George, he disappeared when my family started acting up. I hope he's safe." So my family, that basically means that this grandma is part of George's family. And she also says in this that she doesn't know where he is. He disappeared when my family started acting up, meaning he is still out there somewhere. He didn't start acting up like the rest of the family. He wasn't infected. He didn't turn into a monster. Now, this is further backed up. There's actually another note that backs all of this up. There's a note that you can find in the hospital, and this is what it says. It says, "The majority of a family volunteered to help with testing. The test will begin shortly. Hope it all goes well." The majority of a family. So this means that George and possibly some other members of that family did not get tested, which means they're still out there somewhere and they are safe. Now, those are the facts, but let's get into the actual theories here of what happened to George and where he is. So we can assume that George is not at the safe house. Otherwise, Zizzy and the horseman, Mr. Pony, would have told us that they were there, because we talked to them. We were like, "Hey, we're a policeman. We're looking for this George the Pig." And if they knew who he was, they would have probably told us. Like, "Oh yeah, you know, he's back at the safe house. Follow us. We'll go see him." But they didn't do that, probably because George the Pig is simply not with them. Now, this leads me into TSP. I think that George the Pig is somehow involved with TSP. I don't know if it means the search party or whatever TSP may stand for, but I think it has to do with George the Pig. Because obviously, George the Pig, he doesn't have a family anymore. He's out there. He ran away with a few other members, possibly some friends, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. So it would make sense for him to band a search party together so he can go and try and find maybe any other remaining members of his family that made it out alive, and any other survivors that may be out there in the area, because obviously, that's a good idea. Another thing to keep in mind is Mr. P left the hospital really quickly. Obviously, he was supposed to wait on us and Bunny to actually leave the hospital, but for some reason, he left in the helicopter a lot quicker than expected. Maybe it has something to do with George the Pig. Maybe he found like some sort of cure. I'm not exactly sure. But Minitoon has said that Chapter 10 is going to be answering a lot of our questions. There's actually going to be a really long outro in Chapter 10. The ending segment is going to be super, super long. So you can expect a lot of these questions are going to be answered in that ending segment. So obviously, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those videos when those come out. And keep using star code RealCreep when you're buying your Roblox, buying your premium. It helps me out a lot, and I really, really appreciate it. It allows me to give a lot of Roblox codes out to you guys. I do it pretty much every single day in a live stream every time we hit a sub goal. So keep on subscribing. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this down below in the comment section below. I'll be reading through all the comments. I'll heart and respond to a few of your comments as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Keep washing your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.